Day 6 of the trial of torture slaying suspect Letalvis Cobbins started with a shocker. Cobbins wanted to testify against his defense attorney's advice. Defense attorney Scott Green told the judge that not only was his client demanding to testify, but that the two attorneys could not, in good faith under ethical rules, continue to represent him, which would indicate that the attorneys thought that their client was about to get up on the stand and lie. The judge did not allow the attorneys to withdraw, so that forced Green to simply sit back and let his client talk.
I wanted to take this time to sit up here and let y'all know what happened, but I did not have anything to do with them people getting killed. I did not know about what was going to happen. And I'm sorry. To the families, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Neither side, interestingly enough, mentioned Cobbins' most outrageous claims during his testimony when they started their closing arguments.
He wants to talk about those trash bags? Mr. Cobbins' fingerprints don't have to be on those trash bags. Criminal responsibility tells you he is just as guilty as Mr. Davidson of stuffing Channon Christian in that trash can. His fingerprints don't have to be on that gun that put the bullets in Chris Newsom. That cowardly act. Talk about an act of a coward, taking a boy out, blindfold on, and putting bullets in his back. That's the act of a coward. And criminal responsibility tells you Mr. Cobbins is just as guilty as the man who put those bullets in.
The state continued with its effort to show that whether Cobbins pulled the trigger, whether he stuffed the body in the trash can, he was just as guilty for every crime in this indictment under the theory of criminal responsibility. The defense, again, stayed with their theme throughout the trial, that Cobbins was a liar, a rapist, a real jerk of a guy, but that he wasn't guilty of murder.
At the outset of this case, I told you that there would be three things that I would leave with you, that I promised you by the end of the proof you would agree with me on. First and foremost is you will not like him. You know what? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. He's a coward, he's a rapist, and he's a liar. We will agree with the state of Tennessee on that point. He is a liar. You heard by your own ears that he is a liar. But they haven't shown you he's a killer. I don't have to get up here and say anything to you. It is not my burden to prove anything to you. It is the state of Tennessee's burden to prove this case. These are two of the best assistant DAs in this state, and I respectfully submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, they haven't done it.
Two victims that night, Mr. Newsom and Miss Christian. And that man seated at that defense table right there is the one man in this courtroom who could have prevented that tragedy, and he didn't. And the reason why he didn't, ladies and gentlemen, is because he was part of it.
He has to answer for his decisions. But now it's going to be your decision. Now it's time for you to go back and deliberate. And we're not asking for a verdict based out of anger, because you feel sorry for what happened to Channon and Christian, or for Channon Christian and Chris Newsom, no matter how hard it was to see and hear about. We're not asking for that kind of verdict. The state just wants a just verdict. Justice. That's all we're asking for.